Good day, everyone. We are Group 9 from CE22S10 and we'll be presenting the experiment number 3. Objective. The activity aimed to introduce the basic principles, significance, and procedures in determining the specific gravity and water absorption capacity of aggregates. Intended learning outcome. The student shall be able to first familiarize the equipment, apparatus, and method in determining the specific gravity and water absorption capacity of aggregate. Second, determine specific gravity of and water absorption capacity of the aggregates. Third, determine the different state of specific gravity of aggregates.
For the discussion, the specific gravity of an aggregate is the ratio of the weight of a given volume of aggregate to the weight of an equal volume of water. Bulk specific gravity, also known as the bulk dry specific gravity, the ratio of the weight in air of a unit volume of aggregate at a stated temperature to the weight in air of an equal volume gas-free distilled water at a stated temperature. Bulk SSD specific gravity, the ratio of the weight in air of a unit volume of aggregate, including the weight of water within the voids filled to the extent achieved by submerging in water for approximately 15 hours, to the weight in air of an equal volume gas-free distilled water at a stated temperature. Apparent specific gravity, the ratio of weight in air of a unit volume of the impermeable portion of aggregate does not include the permeable forces in aggregate to the weight in air of an equal volume gas-free distilled water at a stated temperature. The water absorption capacity of the aggregates increase in mass due to water in the pores of the material. Next. So we have a separate resources that are going to be used distinctively for fine and coarse aggregates. For fine aggregates, 1 unit picnometer or calibrated volumetric flask, a weighing scale 5 kg capacity, 1 scoop or spoon, 2 pans, and 1 kg of fine aggregates soaked for 24 hours potable water. For coarse aggregates, 1 wire basket of 4.75 mm mesh, 1 tamping rod, absorbent cloth, dry and soft, container with water, 4 kg of coarse aggregates.
For the procedure for pine aggregates, the first step is to weigh about 250 grams test sample of pine aggregates and label it as weight 1. Second is immerse the test sample into a container with water for 24 hours and cover it. Pour excess water carefully to avoid loss of pines. Spread the sample on a flat, non-absorbent surface and stir frequently to secure homogeneous drying. Continue until the sample approaches a free-flowing condition. The specimen is called saturated surface dry or SSD when it has reached a surface dry condition. Part is weigh the SSD sample and label it as weight 2. Fill the picnometer with water to the top and weigh, and it is the weight 3. Next is remove part of the water from the picnometer and put the SSD sample into it. Then fill with additional water to approximately 90% of its capacity and agitate the picnometer to eliminate all air bubbles. Bring the water level in the picnometer to its calibrated capacity. Next. And seventh step is determine the total weight of the picnometer, specimen, and water, and it is the weight pour. Eighth step is remove the sample from the picnometer and dry to constant weight at temperature of 110 Celsius. Cool and weigh, and it is the weigh pipe. And last step is calculate the specific gravity and absorption. And here is the formulas for the computation of fine aggregates. Next. And the procedure for coarse aggregate is first weigh about 1,000 grams test sample of coarse aggregates and or the weight one with a maximum 200 millimeter nominal size and should not have particles of size less than 4.75 millimeters. Next is soak the aggregates in water at room temperature for a period of 24 hours. Third is remove the sample from the water, roll it in a large absorbent cloth until all visible films of water are removed. The sample is now saturated surface dry or SSD condition. Weigh the SSD sample and it is the weight 2. Place the SSD sample in the wire basket and determine the weight in water and it is weight 3. Note that the wire basket should be immersed to a depth sufficient to cover it and the test sample during weighing. Remove the sample to constant weight at a temperature of 110 Celsius or approximately 20 for 24 hours and it is the weight for. Calculate the specific gravity and absorption. Next. And and that is the formula for coarse aggregates. Next.
Data and results of fine aggregates. All the details of fine aggregates from trial 1 up to 4 by summing it up, we can get the average result. Like for example, in bulk specific gravity dry, 2.62 plus 2.67 plus 2.59 plus 2.63 divided by 4, total of 2.63, which is the average result of the bulk specific gravity dry. But we can use this formula to get its individual average of the other specific gravity up to the result of water absorption capacity. For the next slide, it is the computation assumption of fine aggregates for every trials from 1 to 4. Weighing of 250 grams fine aggregates. It uses different formula for calculating for every specific gravity and absorption. For bulk specific gravity, we use as the formula weigh 1 over weigh 3 plus weigh 2 minus weigh 4. Next, for the bulk specific gravity SSD is weigh 2 over weigh 3 plus weigh 2 minus weigh 4. And for the apparent specific gravity, we use as the formula weigh 5 over weigh 3 plus weigh 5 minus weigh 4. Last is the water absorption capacity, which is weigh 2 minus weigh 5 over weigh 5 times 100. That's
The
So,
group concluded
so this, pabalik po. So these are the data in determining the specific gravity and water absorption for coarse aggregate. In trial 1, we use the given data in the reference for way 1 up to way 8. But the way 4 is our assumption. For example, in trial 1, the way 1 is 2,158 grams, the way 2 is 2,194 grams, the way 3 is 1,905 grams, for way 4, 2,137. So we use the formula way 1 divided by way 2 minus way 3 to get the bulk specific gravity in dry in coarse aggregate. The calculation for bulk specific gravity in saturated surface dry or SSD on the other hand is way 2 divided by way 2 minus way 3. Then after that, we calculate the apparent specific gravity using the formula way 4 divided by way 4 minus way 3. Then after that, the formula for water absorption capacity is way 2 minus way 4 divided by way 4 times 100. For the trial 1 up to trial 4, we assume the data flash in the screen. But we still use the same formulas that I have said earlier. So for the conclusion, thank you.
the group concluded that to determine the specific gravity and water absorption of aggregates, samples are soaked in water for a period of 24 hours. Fine aggregates need a non-absorbent surface, while coarse aggregates need an absorbent load to have a saturated surface dry condition. Weigh the SSD sample and determine the weight in water. Remove the sample to concentrate at temperature of 110 Celsius and weigh. Then calculate the specific gravity and water absorption. As the result of this laboratory exercise, the group concluded that the calculated specific gravity of aggregates are the ones that normally used in construction, that ranges from about 2.5 to 3, while the water absorption needs to range about 1 to 2%. We accomplished in achieving the objectives of this activity. The group learned to measure the strength or quality of the material and have an idea of the internal structure of aggregate. Thank you. That's all.